What's going on, family? It's your guy Boro, the Lucky Libra. Thank you once again for tuning in to another episode. I appreciate y'all stopping by, all right, to pick up some gems, exchange some energy, you feel me? Let's continue to build the community up. So I appreciate it if y'all like, share, subscribe. So go ahead and give y'all a second to do that. That's why I fuck with y'all. That's why we like this. That's why we like this. All right. So as y'all can see by the title, we're picking up the signs through the 8th house series with Gemini in the 8th house. So this, most likely maybe Scorpio risings. All right. But you might be another ascendant sign. Okay. You might be a Sagittarius rising, Libra rising. All right. But if you got Gemini in the 8th house, this is for you. If you're trying to understand somebody, with Gemini in the 8th house, this is for you. Okay. So if you'd like to connect with the Lucky Libra, make sure to tap into my website. And if you'd like to dive deeper, tap into my Patreon, all right? So let's get right into it. What is the 8th house? The 8th house is dealing with, the occult. This is one of the most spiritually influenced houses in the zodiac, all right? So it's dealing with the occult, with the behind the scenes realm, esoteric-like knowledge, hidden knowledge and wisdom, all right? Now, yeah, those are some of the strong spiritual influences, but ultimately, the 8th house is dealing with everything that's behind the scenes, okay? So this is our subconscious, our shadow, okay? So it's going to manifest into dealing with our passions and motives, all right? Our deep passions and motives. This house is going to deal with all influences in our life that may enhance transformation, may influence transformation in our life, all right? Whether we're initiating it, or whether we're influenced to initiate it, or the things we can look out for as themes that may influence transformation into our life externally, all right? We're looking at, finances, taxes, the resources of others, shared values. All right. So this would be the finances, resources of your partner. Felt like that music was a little too loud. All right. We got that going on there. We have, this house, deals with sex. Okay. We dealing with the depth of sex. All right. So we can see a lot of your sexual nature in this house. And one thing I'm learning and picking up on through my studies, we deal with the 7th house a lot when it comes to our partnerships, but the 8th house does have an influence on who you will attract and who you may be attracted to. Remember, the 7th house deals with relationships of all sorts. So when we get into the 8th house, this may have a lot to do with the type of energies that, rile your sexual energies up. Okay. So that's what we got going on in the 8th house. So then we put Gemini here. Mutable air, communicative, flexible, dealing with different environments, different people, different faces and places. You feel me? They are the communication chameleons. All right. So you put them in an environment they never been in before. They're going to start picking up context clues. They're going to pick up how the people down the block is talking. Boom. Boom. You're going to think they from there. You're going to think they're a native of that neighborhood, that environment, wherever they at. That's the Gemini for you right there. Dual energy here. All right. So let's get to the good stuff. Off rip, when it comes to their sexual nature, they're going to have a curious sexual nature. So when I say curious, not just saying that they may have influences where they may be bisexual or into, both genders, which that may be a thing here. That may be a thing here, but that doesn't mean everybody with Gemini in the 8th house is like that. But when we talk about the curiosity here, this is why a lot of times these people are pretty sexually experienced because, first of all, they got the house ruled by Mercury. So you got to know where Mercury is at in the chart. You got to know where Mercury's at in the birth chart because this is going to be an area of life where you're dealing with a lot of transformation, may deal with some inheritance. All right. 8th house does deal with inheritance. This house is going to probably influence a lot of your passions, some of your goals. Okay. And with Mercury being a ruler here, they're going to be curious and intrigued by all 8th house things. So yes, sex, their own sexual nature. All right. They're going to be curious about the occult. They may be real curious when it comes into hidden knowledge, the esoteric world, conspiracy theories. Even if they're not into spirituality, I promise you, with that Mercury ruling over the 8th house, no matter where it's at, whether it's in Gemini in the 8th house, which that's going to show you they're going to really dive deep there, but it don't matter. It could be in other houses. They're going to question things behind the scenes. This is Mercury's energy. It likes to gain information. It likes to point out the details. It likes to communicate, relate that information and knowledge. And this is what they're going to be relating a lot of the times and communicating about a lot of the times. 8th house like things. Deep, dark, taboo like shit. Esoteric like shit. All right. It could play out in many ways where they have a sharp tongue. They have a sharp tongue. you don't want Mercury ruling the Gemini 8th house cursing you out, because they'll say some shit that'll trigger your shadow. They'll say some shit that trigger your shadow. Like, yeah, that's why you always dating people, motherfucker. You always dating people out of shape and shit, because that shit is really a reflection of how the fuck you treat yourself. Like, damn. Mercury ruling over the 8th house, Scorpio rising, preferably Gemini. And you just gonna insult somebody, cuss somebody out, but then sprinkle something about their insecurities in it. Oh my God. So like, they are capable of that. They're capable of that, especially if they have Mercury in Gemini in this house, Mercury in air, trining this house. I'm telling you. So, they're good for that. They have the potential for that. Not saying all of them is just if you push them to that level, because, okay, it plays out like this because since the mind is, Mercury's curious. So because they have Gemini here, they are very curious about their own shadow. So these people are pretty analytical of their shadow and the subconscious, of their demon side, of the negative things to them, their insecurities, their shadow. They're already pretty analytical and observational for these things. So don't think they're not going to be pretty intuitive when it comes to the shadow of another individual, when it comes to the insecurities of another individual. And if they're around you long enough and they build a rapport long enough, when they clash, it's Mercury. It's Mercury. It might get it out. It might insult you through a form of that 8th house, through that insecurity, through that thing that you're trying to work on in your shadow that really bothering you right now. It may get there, So this is why it plays out like that. But that's a real positive thing about Gemini in this 8th house. Their curiosity, once again, their curiosity and their intrigue pushes them and activate shadow work in their life a lot of the time, at least helps them to acknowledge their shadow a lot of the time. So they could initiate a lot of transformation when it comes to the things that, they feel like they need to work on subconsciously. These are going to be the things that's on their mind a lot of the time. Sex may be on their mind a lot of the time, which they just view that as something to help connect, Speaking about connecting, relationships, Gemini's a relationship sign, is air. So when you put in the 8th house, this house does deal with how we deal with transformation, right? Transmutation, releasing energy, regeneration. All right. So when it comes to, regenerating themselves, rebirths in their life, initiating rebirths, or just simply releasing energies to help clear the traumas and the wounds and the pent up subconscious energy, communication, relatability, that's big for these people, man. And so, like, they may not have the biggest social circle, but when they build a connection with somebody to confide in, they'll really appreciate that. But subconsciously, they may already be deep and dark thinkers. Things they think taboo, like things in the world, the occult, shit going on behind the scenes, things dealing with sex. Like I said, taboo like things. These might be things they're intense for other people, but they're curious and intrigued by these things, So they may not notice how the way they communicate is a little heavy, or for the most part, it may play out about that. But yeah, very curious about the occult, hidden knowledge. They will love having people they can communicate with and relate with to help release energy, to help, being able to relate for these people, being able to relate to others who've been through the wounds and traumas they may have experienced. That sense of relatability means a lot for them, and speaking about traumas and wounds, it's Gemini here. So a lot of the time when it comes to things they may have experienced from a traumatic point of view, maybe a form of mental or verbal abuse. So it may be the siblings. Gemini has a strong influence on siblings, close friendships. Gosh, my back hurt, y'all. I don't know what type of energy I'm not exercising in my life or something, but my lower back been killing me. But anyway, this is why I kind of keep pacing a little bit too. Y'all know I usually be having a lot of energy, and that's why I be moving around. But right now I'm moving around because my back just hurt for some reason. I'm going to have to look into that. All my Reiki healers watching this, reach out. My email's in the description. Please let me know let me know what's up if you're picking up on my energy. But all just aside, when it comes into relation, having these people to communicate with. Yes, oh, excuse me, that's where we was at. I was scared I was gonna lose my thought. The verbal mental abuse. So yeah, with Gemini having a huge influence on close friendships, siblings, even like cousins, distant relatives, these may be the people that you had some friction with early in life. These may be the people that played some type of manipulation games with you, gossip in the family in some type of shape or form, threw shade on you, played mind games with you. You may have experienced this with Gemini in 8th house, and it starts, when you get older, you start to realize, this was a form of manipulation, or you start to realize, how to deal with reading between the lines and understanding people's intentions in the subconscious when communicating with them and relating with them. So this is why these individuals, when they do find somebody they can confide in, exchange deep thoughts, emotionally connected thoughts, that means a lot. They'll appreciate these relationships, all right? It may be a real sexual turn on for them, but yeah, yeah. I was gonna say a lot of times when you connect with somebody on a deep level, it sexually turns you on, but that's really not the case, actually. But here, that could be something that'll make them attracted to you, okay? So you got that going on. Beware of that. You got that mental verbal abuse. You dealt with a household, siblings, relationships, people playing mind games with you, tricking you, this and the third. You have to be careful that not only do you make sure you acknowledge these energies, transmute them, acknowledge the wounds. You got to be careful to see how you picked up these traits, because through our 8th house, we can become what we've been manipulated by in the 8th house. We can become, we can inhibit them dark forces. Remember, the 8th house is our shadow. So if you want to understand somebody's shadow, somebody's quote unquote negative side, I don't want to say negative side, I just want to say shadow, all right? The things that may be hidden within them and may play out as transformative at times or negative per se. Let's just call the shit negative, all right? This is where we look at. So having Gemini here, understand these people are capable of, they could be savvy with the words here to kind of manipulate, and them being in negative energies with their shadow would be them, using whatever type of verbal communication to get their way, to manipulate, they could play mind games. But like I said, this is something that they may experience and they may attract in their life. So it may become a defense mechanism, like, yo, I gotta get to people first. I gotta play the mind game first. Or I gotta, you just gotta be careful. You gotta be aware of this with yourself, guys, all right? Erotic communicators. They could be erotic communicators here, They could be, they could know how to really, verbally express or communicate how they want to get intimate with you. And they could have a build up with it too, a tease-like energy. They could definitely work the sexual 1-800, whatever, call for 90, call for an hour, half an hour. You talk to the erotic hotline girl. They could do this. They could do that shit in their sleep, probably, any type of erotic communication. But when they're dealing with somebody intimately, they may enjoy verbalizing certain things. They may talk a lot during sex. They may talk a whole lot. Speak more about sex here. Remember, I told y'all this series, y'all not supposed to be watching this series in the daytime. You're supposed to be watching this in witchy hours, midnight, 1 a.m. All right. So once again, if you're watching this at early, cut this off. If you're watching this at your lunch break or something in the morning, cut this off. Come back later. All right. But all jokes aside, though, sex could be on the mind a lot. Once again, this is something they love to use to connect. But the curiosity, like I kind of opened this up with, a very curious sexual nature. So they could be very sexually experienced at a young age, and they could kind of be unpredictable. They could be unpredictable sexually. They can manifest partners that are really experienced and unpredictable. So a lot of the times, these people, when they lose their virginity, they lost it with somebody that was really experienced already. They lost it with somebody that's really experienced, pretty knowledgeable a lot of the times here. But they can be really unpredictable in the bed because they like to experiment. They're curious. They're going to learn you quick, though, sexually. They're going to learn you quick. They're going to learn what you like, this and that, third, like open-minded partners. But yes, that unpredictable factor is huge here. Okay, it may take things a little too far. Like, hey, I ain't tell you could do that. I ain't tell you you could do that. Calm your ass down now. All right, so, you got that going on. You may attract a lot of people. You may attract a lot of situations where you have to hold a secret, or you have to hold some gossip, or people dump information and gossip on you. Like, why you told me that? I don't want to see, now I'm associated. Why you told me that? Why you told me I stole that shit from there? Now I know. Now if anything, if niggas come ask me and I say I don't know, now I'm really being fake. Like, so y'all could get caught up in positions like that shit, man. And Gemini in that goddamn 8th house. But one thing I love about this placement is their ability to be analytical of this house. How analytical they are, and how their curiosity in this house may lead them into transformative, destructive moments at times. So you got to be careful how much your curiosity leads you into. You got to follow your intuition here. Somebody's like, come upstairs. You meet somebody in a party, and you're like, yo, come upstairs. There's a bedroom upstairs. Is that we could just go up there and talk? You gotta feel your intuition here. You can't be just so curious as to what's behind the veil. But these people learn. They're gonna have them circumstances early in life that they know they can't entertain everything that they can't see because it seems intriguing. They're going to learn that, and they're going to start to have more discernment with how they connect with people. Because with Gemini in the 8th house, with so many different relationships you deal with, a lot of the people that you deal with without discernment can lead into transformative situations. So these people start to learn how to read the intentions and the transparency of individuals in relationships. But I was leading up to say, because they're so analytical, they can be very informative for other people to deal with transformation in their shadow, because they're going to be intuitive enough to pick up on certain details about your insecurities and what may have influenced your insecurities. This energy in a very evolved state is going to be able to, not even in the evolved state, they kind of already have the innate ability to be problem solvers in the state of crisis, because the 8th house deals with like crisis, transformation, things coming to an end, death. So a lot of the times when they are in a state of transformation, crisis, regardless of how they feel, that Mercury, whatever house it's in, is going to be able to think through the transformation. Just got evicted. I'm going to cry tonight, but at the same time, I got these 3 different things I could do to take care of this situation. It's all right to cry, release, but by the morning, I got to be over there. I got to get to the shelter at that time so I could put my clothes down there so I could get to that other job interview by 12. They're going to be able to problem solve throughout crisis, and this is something they end up doing for a lot of other people as well. So that's motherfucking Gemini in the 8th house. Shout out to all my Scorpio risings, maybe Virgo risings, I think. Maybe Virgo risings, maybe Libra risings. Not Virgo rising, maybe Sag rising. I said Virgo, I'm bugging. Maybe Libra risings, maybe Sag risings, preferably most likely Scorpio risings, all right? Once again, you need to know what house Mercury is in, all right? That house is always going to help you deal with, it's going to help you deal with transformations in your life. You're going to find solutions in that house to deal with transformations in your life. All right. Another thing, because this house also deals with what initiates transformations in your life. So these people will find information, valuable information, advice, and it's not unappreciated with these people. They look at it like, thank you for telling me that. Thank you for giving me this information. I'm going to use this shit to bring transformation and change into my life. So these people they'll value important information and whatnot. When it comes into inheritance, it may come from a sibling. It may come from a relative, cousin in some type of shape or form. The way they prospered ended up leaving some fruits for you in some type of way. All right. And yeah, yeah, that's what we got here. That's what we got here, Gemini in the 8th house, man. That's the signs through the 8th house series as we continue this. All right, next week picking up with Cancer in the 8th house. You already know the vibes, family. Please like, share, subscribe so we could continue to build the community, spread the word, circulate these gems. I really appreciate it. Tap into my website if you like to connect with the Lucky Libra. Tap into my Patreon if you like to dive deeper. Until next time, family. Peace. I'm not done. I'm not done. I got some celebrities. I keep forgetting to add these. I keep wanting to make this consistent for some reason. I keep forgetting to do that. I got celebrities that have Gemini in the 8th house, and these are really good examples. So look, we got Taylor Swift, Katy Perry, off rip, really sexual with their performance, expressive, with their sexuality, through their creative pursuits and whatnot, but carry that. I don't really, it's not like I listen to Taylor Swift or Katy Perry, but I just kind of know their demeanor, how they give it up a little bit. Hillary Clinton, Prince, we see how he, once again, with the mind being communicative or having a mind that deals with sexuality or things behind the veil, Prince just attracted a lot of people interviewing him about that, even put out an album talking about why the fuck does it matter what my sexuality is, all right? Why the fuck y'all so curious? All right, Jim Carrey, if you know Jim Carrey, Deep Thinker, Beethoven, okay, Janet Jackson, all right, strong sexual nature, Frank Ocean, everybody's curious, his sexuality is a big thing, all right, and Edgar Allan Poe, okay, very dark, deep mind, but very influential. So I think those examples were spot on the money, all right? But listen, man, the stars never lie. The stars never lie, family, all right? But y'all already know the vibes. Until next time, family. Peace.